Welcome, Guardians of the Galaxy, to another DirtyHotte build cheat sheet. Today we are covering Titan, and this is the cheat sheet we will be filling here during this video. We go over all the stuff you need for the Superman Slam Titan. And over here is what this build is all about. The Superman Slam Titan. It's all about your melee. It's about super fast melee ability recharge. It's about flying across the Crucible maps like a young god like Thor himself, bringing the Thunder Crash. And in addition to the cheat sheet, I bring you 3 exotic armor options to run that build and to shine and to really feel like a true Titan in the Crucible. So keep in mind, we will go over the cheat sheet in this video step by step, giving you all the details. And if you want to have that cheat sheet for yourself, find the final cheat sheet in the description, in the first comment, and also at the end of this video. DirtyHotte Superman Slam Titan, the real man Titan. Let's talk Titan builds. Let's talk Superman Slam. Let's start with the subclass. Okay, I come prepared. So subclass for the Super Slam Titan is, I mean, you might have imagined it. It's clear, okay? It's clear. We are talking about the Missile Striker. Missile Striker is the subclass we are talking about in this build, so that's the subclass you want to run. And here's a little heads up, this build works with every Titan subclass. So let's just get the basics out of the way regarding the subclass, okay? So we will run Missile Titan. The grenade we use is the Pulse Grenade. And as it's a Crucible build, we use the Towering Barricade. And for our lift, we will use High Lift, okay? We will use High Lift. Normally, I would recommend a different lift, but for this one, we will use High Lift. And I will tell you in a second why High Lift is beneficial for this build. And before we continue with the subclass stuff, let's talk about this one, okay? Let's talk about the melee ability, okay? Ballistic Slam. Because that's what this build is all about, okay? Ballistic Slam. That's what it's all about in this build. It's about punch stuff, okay? Punch stuff in the Crucible. That's the beauty of this build. So we will focus on melee cooldown. Okay, Ballistic Slam. That's basically the Missile Titan melee where you fly around like Superman, crashing down on the enemies. And that's also why this is one of the few, but maybe the only Titan subclass where I would recommend for the Crucible the High Lift, because with this build, with Ballistic Slam, height, I don't know why I made an F, height basically equals range of your Ballistic Slam. The higher you go up, the further you can slam. Then what else do we have for the Missile Striker? I mean, obviously it's the Thunder Crash Super. But here at Mom's Basement, we don't call it the Thunder Crash Super, okay? We call it the SP, we call it the Superman Super, okay? Because there's no feeling in the Crucible than like flying around like Superman and annihilating the enemy team with Thunder Crash. That's just beautiful. Then we have the last 2 things for that subclass. That's Impact Conversion. It's Impact Conversion. And that's basically, that's just the basis, okay, for the build. So that's the stuff that's easy to come by. We will talk about the details a little bit later, or in more detail in that. And if you like the stuff, if you like the crime board, if you like the cheat sheet, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for further build videos. Then there's one thing missing, that's Inertia Override. So that one here is Inertia Override. That's actually an ability I totally underrated or forgot about until Jay told me what it actually does. So it's all built around Ballistic Slam, and as said before, it works with every other subclass, every other Titan subclass, but Ballistic Slam is just, it's a great melee, not even for its damage, but also for its mobility, so you can close gaps damn fast with it. So Thunder Crash is the super. We saw Impact Conversion, so Impact Conversion, hitting targets with Ballistic Slam grants super energy and activates inertia override. So that's already beautiful. So ballistic slam giving you super energy, hitting, not killing targets. Then inertia override, picking up ammo during a slide, reloads your equipped weapon, grants melee energy and increases weapon damage for a short time. So that's beautiful and also goes directly into your melee ability. And don't forget, hitting somebody with ballistic slam also activates inertia override. And here we come about ballistic slam. So basically you sprint, you lift off the ground, and after a while when you get the indicator around your screen, you can slam down like Superman on the ground and hit somebody, kill somebody, maybe knock him back and close the gap. It's especially nice when somebody's around cover and you slam down like a young god, hitting him. And that's also ballistic slam, so sprinting, leap into the air. That's also why I like high lift with that specific subclass. As we are focusing heavy on melee, we will absolutely make sure to have 100 in strength to get that cooldown down. Intellect. I mean, I'm a titan. I punch stuff. Intellect. Whatever. I don't care, okay? Strength is also not... discipline is also not that important. Grenade energy, not that important. Then for mobility, that's also, yeah, I don't care. Whatever you have. Resilience, I would say for Crucible and especially for Titan, I would say go with 60 if you can manage it. And for recovery, I think everybody knows for recovery you go as high as possible, okay? High recovery just helps to get you back, to get back your health faster, to reset fights faster when you made it to cover. So 100 strength, bam, that goes directly into ballistic slam because it means we get a lower cooldown. And that are the mods. For that one, I think it's one of the newer mods. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But melee kickstart, it got nerfed for PvP lately, but it's still great. Okay, you need stasis arms or gauntlets or whatever. But melee kickstart, what it does is basically when you use your melee, you get melee energy back, and that's really beautiful for that one. So that one is great to also lower your cooldown for that build, and I would go 2 times with this. Take 2, more cooldown reduction, minus cooldown. Then I also use outreach, and I also use outreach 2 times. Outreach. So what outreach does? Is basically when you use your barricade as a Titan, okay, that is also reducing your cooldown. So those 2 also cooldown reduction. I have to delete that because we have another cooldown reducing mod in this build. Yes, that's not all. Let's go. We have also invigoration, baby. Let's hear. Invigoration. What invigoration does, it's basically just a little bonus. That's when you pick up an orb of light, that's also reducing your melee cooldown. It's not much, it doesn't happen that often, but I just had the slot because Scavenger is only 1 time. You can't stack that anymore. So invigoration it is. Then we have other mods that I like. Everybody who knows me knows I like to run high energy fire and taking charge in my builds. Okay, you just can never have enough damage buffs. And high energy fire is just working like a charm. So high energy fire for more damage. Taking charge to actually become charged with light. Okay, then I use, I said it before regarding mods. We also run Radiant Light. Yeah, especially Radiant Light. So Radiant Light, I showed that in-game already. That's where we can get another 20 strength, so we can save on strength armor there. Plus 20 strength if you have another arc mod in the combat slot or on that armor piece, and that's also where I have invigoration. Then one more mod to go, and my last mod here is the shotgun scavenger. I mean, you can use the build with fusions, you can use it with a sniper rifle if you want. Scavenger. So use whatever scavenger mod you need. Use targeting, unflinching. Just add that depending on what guns you use. Add to taste. Let's say it like this. Can you read that? It's pretty small, but you get the idea. Let's talk a little bit about weapons, and let's start with the kinetic weapon of choice. And here the first one that actually with every melee build comes to mind is Monte Carlo. Good old Monte Carlo assault rifle. I know during the 600 RPM assault rifle meta, it was pretty nasty. It was just that Gnawing Hunger and Hardlight have been better. Okay, so Monte Carlo basically gives you melee cooldown reduction. Melee cooldown reduction. And I mean, for a melee build, that's just great. And what's even better with Monte Carlo is that not only do you get the cooldown reduction, but you also get like a damage buff. After melee kills and melee damage. I think it's kind of like Swashbuckler, right? Makarov chain, or what it's called. That's actually nasty. So that's Monte Carlo. That's option number one. But as we got some for some time now, we have some more weapon perks. So you don't have to use Monte Carlo if you don't want to. It is one of the strongest picks, kind of, depending on the map and situation. But you can also have weapons with that build that also work amazing. You can have, like, for example, you can use the Servant Leader Scout. You can use the Steady Hand Cannon, okay? You can use all of those guns as long. That's what the build is all about, okay? You can use them, but make sure they come with, Jay might already know it, they come with Wellspring, okay? Wellspring also helps you to get your melee back pretty fast. And believe me on that one, okay? With all those mods, and a Wellspring gun, okay? If you use your melee and hit somebody, and you got like one kill, your melee is back, okay? It's back. Kind of depending a little bit on which exotic we're gonna run. We will talk about that in just a second. But it's amazing, okay? It's amazingly quick. So that's for the kinetic slot. Yeah, Wellspring. Here's a little tip. Before I forget it. If you don't know what guns can run with that, here's a little tip. Go to D2 gunsmith.com. That's one of the best sites to search weapons by perk. So, for perks, look for Wellspring and then find all the weapons that can run with it, and every one of them is a great pick for that build, which brings us to the energy options. Here, and I like to run shotguns, and that's only like 2 right now. The Diacide, if it's called like that, and can roll with Wellspring and a sudden death. Okay, so those two would be my picks for that build. More on that in just 2 seconds. We just write it down here. So the die side and sudden death. Those are the two that you can actually run with that, because they come also with Wellspring. Sudden death would be the preferred option for me, but I don't have it. Yeah, so that's... if you have a sudden death with Wellspring, try it with this build. It's amazing. And coming back for just a second to D2 Gunsmith. What's also, you can also switch that up. I mean, you can also use the annual skate hand cannon if you want a 140 in your energy slot with Wellspring, and then go with, for example, Traveler's Chosen in the kinetic slot. Heavy! What heavy? First we have to write it correct, okay? What heavy to use? I don't care. Whatever you want, okay? Like I said before, add to taste. Heavy, whatever. Just pick whatever heavy you like. Let's sum up the weapons. So we have a melee cooldown reduction on Monte Carlo. You can also get the same with Wellspring. Not the same, but close, if you want to be more flexible with your weapons. And all of that basically does the same thing than the mods. It helps with your cooldown. So minus cooldown on your Ballistic Slam. And Ballistic Slam, bam bam, is what this build, the Superman Slam, is all about. And if you like the Superman Slam build, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I love my Dunemarchers even after they kind of adjusted it. Basically, it wasn't a Dunemarchers nerf, it was just some bug fixing. So you still... Let me add that here. Dunemarchers. Yeah, Dunemarchers. Why would I recommend Dunemarchers, or why do I like Dunemarchers? I mean, it's just the speed. You want to close your gap fast, and also with the combination with that speed, in combination with high lift and the Ballistic Slam, you can really close a gap damn fast and can be a hell of a surprise for the enemy in the Crucible. And it also has some AoE potential. So normally, if we run that stuff Team 2 Titan style with Jay and Squaddy, for example, I let the other two guys like soften the enemy up, and then I go in there with Dunemarchers and AoE them away. It's beautiful, but maybe you're not the Dunemarchers kind of guy. Maybe you want to annihilate enemies in the Crucible without Dunemarchers, and that's when you want to run, and Jay can testify on that. Scynthoceps, another great pick for the Crucible for this build. Scynthoceps, however that's called. I kid you not, I witnessed Jay during the Team 2 Titan stream when I was going in there flying high, and I think it was a triple kill or quadro kill, I can't even remember. It was amazing. The great thing about Scynthoceps is the potential for... Yeah, Cauldron, exactly. It was a quad kill, yeah. It has the potential for multi-kills. It might not happen all the time, but especially in 6's, that thing is nasty. In 6's, it's really nasty. Okay, and then I have option number 3, might be kind of a surprise to you guys. And it's not the best pick, okay? It's not the best. It's Skullfort, okay? It's Skullfort. Sometimes it works like a charm. I will just call it Skullfort, because that Insurmountable, nobody can pronounce that, okay? So for me it's just Skullfort. Skullfort is the pick. Skullfort is the pick you want to use. Even more melee energy. And it's kind of like, for me right now, it's kind of like a coin toss, okay? Coin toss, okay? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What I mean by that is sometimes you have enemies that are softened up, that don't really see you coming from the top of the ballistic slam and are at lower health, and then you kill one of them with Skullfort and are back to your max health, and then you're like in between the enemy team and just punching stuff, shotgunning them to death, spreading havoc in their lines. It doesn't work that often, okay? But sometimes it works. Sometimes it does work, and then it's hilarious. Heal potential. So, Skullfort, that's the last option. I want that. So, however, whatever you decide, Skullfort is a little bit tricky to use, but Dunemarchers, Scynthoceps, Skullfort, they all use, and basically, you know, this one, those two, just slap them on with that build or with any other Titan subclass. Ballistic Slam is just the most fun. Slap them on, and every melee build will benefit. Benefit! That's what we're talking about. So that's basically the DirtyHotte Superman Slam Titan build. A 2-Titan for the Crucible. I hope you like that approach, that cheat sheet, and if you do, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, offer your stepmom and stepsister, slide in my DMs on Twitter. Yeah, I hope you like that. That's a nice build. I'm rocking that on Crucible, and I hope you enjoy stuff like that. If you are interested in taking part in cheat sheets like that, interactive style here at Mom's Basement, stop by twitch.tv/DirtyHotte, where I try to stream twice a week.